In the early 17th century, the British government, under the rule of King James I, was looking to establish a foothold in the New World. The Spanish and the French had already claimed large portions of North America, and the British wanted to do the same. In 1606, King James I granted a charter to the Virginia Company of London, a group of wealthy investors, to establish a colony in the region that is now Virginia. The Virginia Company organized a fleet of 3 ships, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, to make the voyage across the Atlantic. The fleet set sail from London in December of 1606, carrying 104 men, including soldiers, sailors, and craftsmen. After a long and difficult journey, the fleet arrived in the Chesapeake Bay in April of 1607. The men disembarked at a place they named Jamestown, in honor of the king. The new colony was not an easy one to establish. The men were ill-prepared for the harsh conditions of the New World. They had brought few supplies and were not familiar with the local environment. They also faced resistance from the indigenous Powhatan people, who saw the newcomers as a threat to their land and way of life. The colonists struggled to find food and shelter, and many fell ill with disease. By the end of the first year, only 38 of the original 104 settlers were still alive. Despite the difficult conditions, the colony managed to survive. The leaders of the colony, Captain John Smith and President Edward Maria Wingfield, implemented a strict system of work and rationing to ensure the survival of the colony. They also made peace with the Powhatan people, through a treaty that was arranged by Pocahontas, daughter of Powhatan leader. This treaty allowed for trade between the colony and the Powhatan people, providing the colony with much-needed food and supplies. As the colony began to establish itself, new settlers arrived from England. They brought with them new skills, such as farming and building, that allowed the colony to grow and thrive. The colony began to export tobacco, which quickly became its main source of income. This made the colony profitable for the investors of the Virginia Company and allowed for more settlers to be sent over. Despite its early struggles, Jamestown became the first permanent English settlement in North America. It was the starting point for further British colonization of the region and the beginning of the United States as we know it today. The colony continued to grow and expand, eventually giving way to the establishment of other British colonies in the region, such as Maryland and the Carolinas. The colony of Jamestown also played a significant role in the early history of the United States. It was the site of the first representative legislative assembly in the New World, the House of Burgesses, which met in Jamestown starting in 1619. This assembly was the first step towards self-government in the colonies and a precursor to the formation of the United States.